Hello, I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Politoed and just Politoed by itself. We've already covered Poliwag, Whirl, and Wrath in Kanto, so don't need to go back over that. Kermit is basically the one I expected to see because it's a green frog and it's literally as common and cliche as you could possibly get. Like, I get it. Do I care about it as a nickname? No. Would I ever use it? Never. But would I expect it from the internet? Yeah. We also saw Poliswag and stuff before during that episode. I don't know if that works really well with Politoed, but I guess we'll acknowledge it since we did before. Slippy, that's basically another thing I expected to see right off the bat as well. It's fine. It's just something you would expect to see, so I don't really have much of an opinion on it. Frogger is another one that you would expect to see, and I feel like is a super obvious choice. Really, all three of these I think are incredibly identifiable to where the name by itself speaks for it, and like you're not gonna get it confused or not understand what any of these mean. So all three of them work. It's just if you named 3 frogs, those are probably going to be like some of the first ones that jump into your head immediately. Speaking of famous frogs, how about the Hypnotoad? And Toad, Frog, T-O-E-D, whatever. That's one that I'd expect. It works a little bit well because I'm pretty sure it could be possible to have hypnosis since like Poliwag and Whirl I think learned that. So you could literally make it the Hypnotoad. It works. The joke's, it's dead. Leave it where it was. You don't have to keep dragging it out. That's my opinion. Okay, we gotta at least start on one positive bit. I like Downpour. That's a good name. I think that works. And a lot of these nicknames seem to really be alluding to, I almost called him Frogger, Politoed's Drizzle ability. I mean, he didn't have it upon his debut. It took him a couple generations to get that, so that means most of these nicknames are fairly recent. And I feel like a lot of these, anything involving rain, I think would apply to Kyogre a little bit better. But I mean, what if it doesn't have Drizzle? Then what? Then you look like a fucking doofus. But I like the name Downpour. It's a good sound to it. And then Rainmaker, all that other crap. No, doesn't sound good. Rainer is the Vaporeon of the Eevee brothers, so I would only accept it on a Vaporeon. Anything else, and it's just a crap nickname. Drip Drop and Rainfrog are also incredibly stupid, so he got one good thing right, but then he missed the next 6 times in a row. Okay, so that's the bottom. I've looked at my own notes, and I'm like, yeah, we've got a fair bit of nicknames ideas, but we'll finish up by checking the spreadsheet before we go over everything. Wollywog, that was actually one I have on my list. I think this one works. I wrote it down because I remember seeing it either probably here or somewhere else, and I was just like, yeah, I want to remember to talk about that. I think it's fine. I think it's original enough to work, and also for localization differences, if you're in the UK, it would be a Wollihop. And a lot of people also pointing out that it's apparently Satoshi Tajiri's favorite Pokemon as well. I feel like I've heard that for some other Pokemon as well, so I'm unsure how much of this I really want to believe, but it is what it is. Anyway, going over stuff that was notable enough and memorable enough. Just the Frogger, Kermit, and Slippy. I don't actually care for those nicknames. I'm just bringing them up because they were like, I expect other people to care about them is basically it. So there's those 3. A lot of these are just, it's basically all just pick your reference. And then Wollywog was also on my list, so there's the other one. I just finished playing Banjo-Kazooie last night, and I kept like looking at all these enemies. I was like, oh, that could be a nickname. That could be a nickname too. So I wrote down Flibbit, which is like the little frogs in Bubblegoop Swamp. I don't necessarily think it's the best nickname, but it can work if you want it to. You could also use it on like Toxicroak, or I feel like there was some other frog Pokemon that we've already done, but I don't think so, because I thought Politoed was the first frog. Greninja, that's probably what I'm thinking about. I don't know. But Flibbit's an idea if you care for that. I remember seeing in a different thread When recording these videos, someone suggested Song of Storms, and again, there was a lot of little things as far as the drizzle ability, so it works with that. I really like that, and I like that idea, and I think it'd be kind of interesting to think of what other Zelda songs could possibly work with Pokemon nicknames, if you could make them fit. One that I expected to be very cliche, because it's kind of what my mind goes to first, kind of like the Slippy Kermit Frogger bullshit. I was expecting someone to say Wart, which was the boss in Mario Bros. 2, because to me that just feels like something you would expect. Like, that's where my brain instantly goes. So as a result, I don't like the nickname because it just feels too obvious, but apparently it's not. So that's a thing. The only other one worth acknowledging was I actually did like Downpour. I like that one a fair bit. But again, it's kind of like Song of Storms, where if you don't have Drizzle, it doesn't fucking matter. But in general, it's at least a nice name. I just think maybe giving it to Kyogre makes like a billion points more brain sense than Politoed. I don't have a personal choice, apparently. Mine doesn't, not on my sheet. It doesn't say that I have one. I don't remember anything for Politoed. So, like, it wasn't a bust, and there were some options. There was just no options that I was 100% in love with and actually want to use. So these are fine. I'm just not in love with anything yet. So eventually it'll come, but any ideas and suggestions you guys have, put them in the comments so we can keep the discussion going and we can talk about Politoed.